What's good plan, Pokey? So I have this OU match. Someone had messaged me and was like, "Hey, we should do an OU battle." I'm like, "Okay, sure." I kind of predicted the guy was gonna brain weather, but it turns out he doesn't. I guess he must have predicted I was gonna brain weather because he brought a lot of stuff that doesn't kind of counter my weather. I mean, it counters my weather. Blah. Anyway, as you can tell, I got my ace card, so now we got high quality battles. So I'm going to lead off with Metagross. He's going to lead off with Chandelure. I'm going to want to get out of there because I figure he's probably just going to go for the straight Fire Blast, and that's what he does. Unfortunately, he did not predict and go for the Energy Ball, which is great for me. Now he's going to bring in Venomoth, and I'm just going to hit him with that Choice Specs Hydro Pump. He must have thought my Politoed was some other kind of Politoed because he just didn't really predict that too well. So now he's coming in Chandelure. I know I can take an Energy Ball because Politoed has some pretty good natural bulk. And I just fire off a Hydro Pump, and that is going to be a dead Chandelure. So really, the main counter to most of my team is gone, which is good. Except he's going to bring in Celebi. And I decided to bring in my Skarmory. And just basically, I thought that Skarmory would be good because it can kind of predict him. And if he tries to set up, I can just whirlwind him out. So he's going to go for the Nasty Plot. I kind of had a hunch that would happen. So I go for the Spikes and, get one layer of Spikes up because it's always good to get at least one layer of Spikes up. And now he's going to go for a Nasty Plot again, and I'm just going to whirlwind him out because I don't want him setting up on me. And basically Vaporeon comes in, and I'm like, hey, wow, okay, Vaporeon's a really good Pokemon for me to go ahead and just keep setting up Spikes, unless, of course, he's like some weird Choice Specs Vaporeon, but that's not seen very often. So he goes for the Scout. Since he has the Scout, I'm a little bit afraid of the burn, not going to lie, because usually I get burned almost every time Scout happens. I didn't the first time, though. That's pretty amazing. So I get up my third layer of Spikes, and he burns me with the second one. And, yeah, that's not good. Don't really like that. I'm going to want to save this Skarmory for death fodder for later on in the match. So I'm going to go ahead and switch in Metagross. I was really hoping that if he did go for the Scald, he did not go for the burn. He did not get the burn. So I go for the Stealth Rocks as he puts in Bronzone. And now I go ahead and switch out and go into my Tentacruel, because my Tentacruel can kind of somewhat scare out this Bronzone because he's not going to know what I'm going to do. So he brings in Celebi, and I am going to go ahead and get up that first layer of Toxic Spikes just to build up some pressure on him. And I go for an Ice Beam just to see how much it would do. It actually does a pretty sizable chunk. But get this. So Giga Drain shouldn't have done that much, but my health kept going down. I'm like, oh great, a freaking crit. Wow. Gotta always count on those crits in any of my battles. I mean, I have like the worst luck in Pokemon, I'm not even gonna lie. So I don't want to stay in since he got that crit and got all that health. So now I'm gonna bring in my Skarmory to go ahead and fodder out the Skarmory because Skarmory should be foddered out at this point. It's not really doing anything for me. So it's almost dead, and he's gonna get foddered out, which is good. That is part of my plan. And now I am going to go ahead and bring in my Tentacruel again because I outsped the Celebi the first time. Set up the Toxic Spikes, hoping he's not going to crit again. So now I have full entry hazards on my opponent's side, which is going to be very bad for him. He should have not let me set up all three of my entry hazards fully because now anything that comes in is going to be severely hurt. So I go for an Ice Beam, and that's going to KO the Celebi and get back some health with Rain Dish and leftovers. That's always good. And Bronzone's going to come in. Of course, the only thing on his team that's not going to really be that hurt from entry hazards. I thought Bronzone would kill me, but he goes for the Light Screen instead, I guess, to just raise the special defense so that he can't do much to me, I'm guessing. And the Reflect goes down, so now I can hit this Bronzone on the physical side. I go for the Scald, get the burn this time, look at that, which means my Tentacruel is going to take this Earthquake like a boss. You jelly, bro. You are a beast. So now that the Bronzone's burned, I'm just going to go ahead and leave Tentacruel in now that I know Tentacruel can easily live Earthquakes. And yeah, look at that. It's not doing that much damage at all. So I just keep Rain Dish and Leftovers. I mean, it's doing enough to where if I stayed in too long, he'd wear me down. But, you know, I outstall him with the Burn and the Scald. And that is going to kill the Bronzone. I basically didn't want to switch into anything else because I wanted that light screen to go down. Now he's going to bring in Dragonite. And wouldn't you believe he's going to actually lock himself right into Outrage right away. Okay, well that kind of sucks, especially since I just really lost my Tentacruel, which is my Rapid Sprinter, but I killed his Bronzone, so if that Bronzone did have the Stealth Rocks, it's gone now. He's only going to have a 2-turn Outrage, and would you believe that I get hack screwed and don't hit with Meteor Mash, but this next turn kind of makes up for it, because my opponent ends up hitting himself in Confusion. So I guess it's all okay, since basically he hit himself in Confusion. Now I'm going to go for the Meteor Mash. I am going to get that attack raise, so that really makes up for that first Meteor Mash miss. And I just heal up and go for the Bullet Punch, because this is an anti-lead Metagross that I have out right now. It's actually really designed to go ahead and just essentially not worry too much about the opponent. Now he's going to bring in Vaporeon. Vaporeon's going to take Spikes, Stealth Rocks, and is going to get badly poisoned thanks to the Toxic Spikes. And since he wasn't running it on a Rain team, I know it's not a Hydration Vaporeon, which makes me wonder why he didn't bring in Vaporeon when I kept scalding the Bronzone. Not really sure. I guess that's kind of a bad play by my opponent's end, but I mean, what are you going to do? So the Poison and all that is going to do some nice damage. He's going to go for the Protect, which means my Hammer Arm's going to miss. But that's all okay, because usually people don't get the double Protect. And so this Vaporeon is going to go down to a Bullet Punch. And that is going to be the match. If you liked my video, make sure to come check out my channel and comment, like, and sub to Planet Pokey, because it's awesome. And see ya!